Yeah, good morning everyone. I am myself Sarvana. The intention of this session is that how sometimes people might wonder whether they can have a career in IT or not. Even if they do, they'll be wondering about how they can start. Yeah, sorry for the interruption. As I was saying, like some people might be wondering how can they have an IT career? And they will be assuming where should I start, how can I start, is it possible for them to do. So in this session I'm going to tell you where to start, how to start, whether you can do it or not, so you can have all the idea about IT world, so that whether you can make a career out of this or not. So as I was saying, myself Sarvana, and I have been a full stack developer from the last 5 to 6 years. So I'm going to tell you about what we provide first, so I won't take much of a time. Hope you people are able to see the screen what I have shared now. So the company is nothing but Bitstream IO Technologies. So I'll share this URL in the group so you can have a look at it. So this is what we do. So you can start here. So the services what we provide over here is that we do corporate training and we offer courses. Corporate training is that we have tie-up with some companies, like around 10 to 15 companies, where we provide technical training for the projects which they will be working on. And the courses are for the students who want to learn technical from start. And we offer courses as Java, Angular, MeanStack, MunStack, React.js, DevOps. You might be wondering what these things are. You will get to know in about like 5 to 10 minutes. You will be getting to know about these things. And these are the services what we provide, as we also have tie-up with some of the colleges in where we will be providing these internship programs. And you click onto the portfolio and you can come across some of the corporate training and internships and training what we did so far. And you can see some of the students who have taken course here have got placed. So you can go through this. Now, and if you have any queries while I am explaining you few things, how these things work, you might stop and ask me so that you can have a clear idea over it. So any doubts over this, you can ask me at any point of time. So now coming back, let me start with the technology. So then I'll be starting with advanced React.js full stack development. So first of all, what is React.js and what is this full stack development? When I have to say, when you are going to build an application, right, it may be static or dynamic. You will be having divided that application into 3 parts. Like you will be having a front end, back end and a database. So if you are long enough here in the session, you will get the idea how it works. So I'm going to show you a small demo practically and technically how it works. So front end means, I hope everyone is having an account of Flipkart or Amazon. So while you are registering at it, you are going to enter your name, email ID, password and all these things. Where you are entering, right, that thing is nothing but front end. As you can see, that thing is nothing but front end. You are filling the form. That form what you are filling, right, that is front end. And the data what you are going to submit, right, it is going to the back end. And here in the back end, we will be having some programming languages where we will be writing business logics. So the data, the details what you have entered is going to get manipulated there. That is the back end. And once the data gets manipulated, it will be stored in the database. Suppose for example, your name is Rajesh Kumar and the name Rajesh Kumar is stored in database. Your mobile number, your email and your password, everything is stored in the database. After that, again after registering, you want to log in. So here in the database, you will be given username and password. Once you give your username password, it will hit the backend, and the backend validates your data and will check for the database whether there is Rajesh123 and password Rajesh1234 exists. Once it exists, it will open your dashboard or it will open your profile. So this is how it is going to work. And again, coming back in front end, back end database, what are all the things you are going to see, what you need to learn. Whether you can be a front end developer, you can create a UI for an application, you can completely focus on front end. like to create forms and interactive experience, user experience, all these things, or else you can completely work on back end, like manipulate the data which is coming from the front end. But if you work on both front end, back end, and database, you will be known as a full stack developer. Either you can be a front end developer, or a back end developer. And if you have skills that it takes, you can manage both. You can learn both, and you have the skill set to work on this. You can be a full stack developer. And now again coming back, what you can see in front end and what you can do in back end. So I'll go here. So this is about a full stack language. Full stack, as I said, you can either be only front end developer if you can master these skills, or else a back end. If you do both, right, you can be a full stack developer. And companies nowadays are looking for, their main priority is to get a full stack developer. And you might think, sir, can I start as a full stack developer? It might be tough, but what you can do is either select front end or back end first. So once you master it, you know how things work there, then you can do the other. So eventually if you start as a front end developer, 1 or 2 years it takes to master it. After that, after having all the experience in those 2 years, you can start with the back end. So initially after 4 years, you will be a full stack developer. So here in the front end, what you can see is HTML, CSS and JavaScript. This is completely a basic things which you need to know in a front end. And what you see is this Bootstrap, React, Angular, Vue.js. These are all nothing but frameworks and libraries. I will let you know in the practical, which will be starting in about 5 minutes. I will show you in about 5 minutes. So I'll go here. And what are all the tools are required for you to start? So I'll start a simple demo here. Like I'm going to give you an idea how, what HTML, CSS and JavaScript means, and how you can do all these things, So just continue watching, and as I said, if you have any doubts in between, you can ask. So this is the VS Code. This is the editor what we are going to use. This is the editor which you are seeing here. So I'll create one file. So what I'll do, I'll create one demo.html. So this is a HTML file. So here you should be knowing some syntax which you'll be using. It won't take long. Yeah, is someone trying to speak? So this is HTML. As I said, the thing what you work in the front end, right? This will be front end. Look here in the web page, you are able to see this. This is what HTML means. As I said before, front end. Here where you are going to write login and all these things, right? So that is what you are going to see here. So there will be a form here, and this is what I said, UI, user interface. Here you are going to write. This is HTML. This is HTML that you are going to display something in the browser. And now coming back, CSS, you are going to design it. So again, when you come back to CSS, you can do it in 3 ways: inline, internal and external. So I'll write color red, and now if you see, it has been colored. So this is CSS, cascading style sheet. And when it comes to sites, right, it will be static or dynamic. So until and unless you use JavaScript, every website will be dynamic. Okay, every sites will be static. Now if you want to make your sites dynamic, you are going to use JavaScript. So for that you will be using these script tags. And here all these things what you are seeing, right, this body tag, opening and closing HTML, these things we call it as tags, and inside what we are filling it, right, that we call it as HTML elements. HTML is nothing but hypertext markup language, and JavaScript code will be writing here. So I'll just add a simple alert, hello. So now if I go my site, look here, you have got an alert confirming hello. Once you click onto that, look here, whenever someone tries to enter this page, it will be showing hello. So these things are very mandatory for you to start as a front-end developer, which is HTML, .html file and CSS, where you can style your HTML page, and script, where you can make your web page dynamic. So this is a web page what you have seen here, right? Now you made it dynamic, you are using JavaScript. So this is what HTML, CSS and JavaScript is all about. And now again coming back, what I told you here was front end, all these three things, and I told you about Bootstrap, React, Angular, Vue.js. The thing is, this complete from here to here, what you are seeing, right? This we call it as a DOM. D for dog, O for object, M for in like Manchester City, you know, right? City name, like the DOM. The manipulation DOM, you need framework or libraries. Why do you need that? It makes your web page or your website faster. It makes your website user friendly. Like user is going to have a great experience while working on this website, like whether filling on form, like it will be user friendly, all these things. That thing we call it as DOM manipulation. To make that look good, we will be using some framework and libraries. And when it comes to JavaScript, right, you have many libraries, and look here, you have almost like 14 lakh libraries, and you don't need to worry that, sir, is that a thing that we should be learning each and everything when it comes to the coding part? No. If you know the basic things of one or two frameworks or one or two libraries, that is more than enough to have a career in IT. So as I said, for this thing we call it as, from here to here, we call it as a DOM, where you have your HTML, CSS and JavaScript. And when we have to manipulate this so that it becomes fast, so that it looks good, so that it will be user friendly, we will be using frameworks. So for CSS we will be having a framework which we call as Bootstrap, and Bootstrap is not the only framework. We have AndDesign, Semantic UI and many more things. And when it comes to JavaScript, we have frameworks and libraries. When it comes to framework, we have AngularJS, you might have heard about it, and one of the most used library nowadays which is in the booming is React.js. The application which you are seeing in Instagram, right, it is of React Native. You might see that Instagram, you might have seen how interactive it is. Like suppose if you want to like a video, or if you want to make a reel, or if you want to give a comment, look how user friendly it is. It is of React and it is maintained by Facebook. So this is about front end, and this is how you are going to use React. And coming back, I told you about back end. So in the back end you can choose any one, but here in the front end, HTML, CSS and JavaScript is a common thing, but the framework you can choose any one from this. You can use Angular, no need to learn React, or you can learn React, no need to use Angular. But when it comes to backend, right, it's completely a different thing. Here we are going to write the business logic. So you can choose any one. You can use either Java, you can use either .NET, anything, any one you can use. No need to have like HTML, CSS, JavaScript is the thing, right? So here it is not the case. You can use any one backend language. So if you know these things, and if you are good with one backend language, you can become a full stack. And this database is that you need to know how to maintain that database, like how you are going to pull some operations like delete, edit and all these things. So this is about full stack language. And again you will be decided with, look here, you might be wondering whether to start with the front end or back end. Look here, when it comes to front end, all these things you need HTML, CSS, JS. These three are common. React is a library for this DOM, and BS, Bootstrap, is a framework for CSS. Like if you want to design, you want to make the design thing easy, that is why you are going to take a framework. And when it comes to backend, either you can go with PHP, either you can go with Java, either you can go with Node.js, or you can go with .NET or Python. Anyone you can be choose. And the thing is, if you are a fresher, if you don't have any idea, it is always good that to go with one thing first. You cannot be a full stack developer instantly as you take a course. First you have to learn front end, and going on you will be learning this. First you have to know what front end is, because you will be sending the data to the back end, or else you have to learn back end. After receiving the data, what you are going to write business logic, how you are going to validate. But if you do at the same time as a beginner, it sometimes will be a problem. But if you have that skill set, you can do that. It's not impossible. But as a fresher, it might be a little bit difficult, but it's not that impossible. So now coming back, I'll show you one demo of the application. I'll show you one demo. I have an application right here. So look here how these things work. So suppose this is a registration, okay? This is completely with the React framework. So I'll show you. I have used React. When it comes to React, you will be learning about this package.json and everything. Look here, this React DOM, React Router DOM. So no need to worry about all these things. I'll show you one practical demo how these things work, how it is able to work in the real applications, okay? So I have run this application. So as you can see, here I have an employee, and look here, this thing we call it as API, okay? So I'm going to show here. I'll refresh the page. This is a server page. As you can see, there is no data here. There is no data. I will copy this API. You might call it as an URL, but when it comes to coding, right, we call this thing as an API. Application Programming Interface. It stands between the code what you have written in the back end and between the server or the database. So I'll refresh the page, no data. I will take this API and I'll go here and I'll go for this logic what I'll be returning from the start. I'll be pasting this API here, okay? And now I'll go here and I'll add a name. Suppose let me take a name from the mail. So let it be about Namita Sharma. So what I'll do, I'll go here and add Namita Sharma, designation, yeah, I'll do it from the start, Namita, and I'll give a designation of COO, Chief Operating Officer, and I'll give a salary around like 20,000. So now I'm going to add an employee. When I click this, right, JavaScript function is going to get called. And now here in the server page, if I look into it, look here, EMP, employee name Namita, designation COO, salary 20,000. Like this API is a fake one. I'm showing you how front end works. So this is how you are going to write the thing. Look, this is what you are going to build. Like here in the add user, you are going to send the data. This is how you have created the form. And once you create the form and click add employee, that data, this is server page. This is a HTTPS server page, okay? Here, like before when I refreshed, there was no data. When I refreshed now, you got the name Namita CO. I'll do another one. So what I'll do, I'll add one more, which is like I'll add Rajesh Kumar, and I'll add its salary around like 25,000, and I'll add it. And once if I check in the server, he will be added. So this is like you're sending the data to the server from the front end. I don't have any backend language here. I have not used anything. This is completely related to front end I'm doing. I'll get to the backend language and I will get to the full stack too. So now I need to pull this data from the server to display. So here if I come and if I refresh, look here, what I'll do, I'll take this API. So in this server page, the data are here. I will take this API and I'll go for this service API. So here I will get that data from the server. So from this server API I'm going to show, and now if I see here, I'll refresh the page. Look here, Namita, Rajesh. These people is what? Rajesh Kumar. I just added there, right? That is the thing what you are seeing here. If I add one more, look here, I refresh, there are only two data. I will add again. I will add a new one. I will add like Amrut, and I'm going to make him CEO. Let the salary be around 1 lakh. Add employee, and if I go here, look here, Amrut. So this is completely about front end. So how I am able to do this? I have used HTML, CSS, JavaScript, React, and this API is a fake one. For practice purpose, we can get it from the online. And now let me tell you about backend. I hope you got the idea how it works in the front end. So this is completely related to front end, how you are sending the data to the server and how you are able to pull the data from the server. Now coming back to backend. When it comes to backend, as I said, you have many options. Like you have PHP, Java, Node, .NET and Python. I will choose Java. So for Java, it's completely a different editor, which is Eclipse. You might have heard about it. If you when in engineering class, you might have a subject called Java. There you have heard about it, and we'll be using Java here. Okay. And here I have an application which is in the name of NATO. And when it comes to Java, guys, you will be having 3 parts: core Java, advanced Java, Spring and Hibernate frameworks. So here, now this is the front end part. You are sending the data. Now the data what you receive, right, you need to manipulate and validate it. You have to write a business logic. For that, here I have used the fake API. But in Java, you need some data. If you are a backend developer, how you are going to do this? For this, we have a testing tool called Postman. So even if you don't have any knowledge about the front end, you choose to become a backend developer with Java. So you can test your logics right here. Okay, and I will connect front end and back end. I will show you how you can become a full stack. And here in the Java, you will be having 4 packages. You will get to know what packages is once the course gets started, right? So here I'll be having an entity class where I'll be giving employee ID, employee name, designation, salary, and interface where you can take all the dependencies, and a service class so that you will be writing the business logic. Controller class, this is where your APIs comes into place. And this application properties, I am going to connect a database to my this business logic what I have written, right, I'll connect to a database. So I'll go here, look, you can see I'll just create a database. I'll create the data name as, like today is Wednesday, right? I'll just write database name as Wednesday. I'll just create it. And what I'll do here, I have to give the database name. And I'll run this so that it creates a database. Look, there was no table before. Like, no need to worry how all these things works. I'm just giving you an indexing how it is going to be. So once I do this, there the data table gets created there. So I'll show you once it gets done. So this is how you run your Java project. Like, I'm going to connect it with the front end. Now I'll go here. So in this Wednesday, I'm just open here. Look, there is a table. Look here, you got employee ID, designation. I'll refresh. There is no data now. Okay. So now you have a business logic here. You need data. So you don't need to wait for the front end developer to send you the data. You can check with the Postman tool. So how this APIs, the post, how you can do, this is the API. You might call it as an URL, but once you start coding, right, this thing is nothing but an API. Now I'll go here. Here in the Wednesday, I have connected to the database. The business logic, what I have written, that I have connected to this Wednesday database. Now I'll go to the Postman, and here you might see this HTTPS localhost 8080. That thing you can see here. I'll just scroll it up. Look here, Tomcat started 8080. So this is how you are going to generate API. Okay, 8080, and here in the controller class, I have written. I'll just scroll it down. Add new employee, right? That thing I have pasted here. Add new employee now, and I'm going to give the name. I'll take the names from the session so that you will get the idea. So I'll just go with Rafiq Donor. So I'll go here and I'll add the name Rafiq TUNUR and let him be CEO and let the salary be around 30k. and now I'll just give send, and you will get the request here. What it does, look here, it is created. Now in the data table I have sent the data using backend language. Look here, it was empty. Now if I refresh, look here, designation CEO, employee name Rafiq, donor, salary 30,000. So what I did, using backend language, I have written the business logic to connect to the database. So this editor and database are completely different, but even still you have connected them. So this is a postman. Here you can test your data. So I'll send another one. Let me take another name here. It is I'll go with Veerbhadra. So I'll go and add another one, Veerbhadra Badigar. So I'll make him as a MD. Let his salary be around 50k, and I'm going to send. And now if I check the database, look, it is going to get added. So when you are doing with the front end, you can completely do this thing, or else back end you can do completely this thing with this postman tool. And now the thing is how you can interact with both a full stack. So if you know how to do this thing, and if you know how to write the logic here, so instead of using this postman API, I'm going to copy this. Instead of checking in the postman, and instead of using this fake server, I'm going here and I'm going to use this API here in the add. I'm going to use that API instead of postman. I'm going to add it here, and now right away I'm going to add a new user. So let me take a new name, Sahana Mode. I'll go with that name. I'll go with Sahana. I'll just refresh, it's been too long. So I'll go here and I'll write Sahana. Designation will be, let me do it again, Chief Operating Officer, salary 35,000. And now if I add employee, it will go to the backend, business logic gets validated, then it will store in the database. Now if I refresh here, look here, Sahana. So from the front end, using the backend business logic, I have stored it in the data table. So this is all about full stack development technology. So as I said, you can be a front-end developer completely relating with HTML, CSS, JavaScript and React. You can do these things and send the data. That's it. You can start with this, or else you can start with backend, receive data, write business logic, validate them and store to the database, or else you can learn both and become a full stack developer. And when it comes to full stack, you have three different things. If you want to become a full stack developer, you will be using HTML, React, CSS and Java. And there are two more things which are like MERN stack and mean stack. So here you will be using Node.js as a backend, not Java. So you have options. It's not mandatory that you need to learn only Java to learn the backend language. No, you can generate these APIs. You can write business logic in whatever the backend language you are going to choose. So if you want to become a mean stack, it means M for MongoDB, which is the database, E for Express.js, A for Angular, N for Node.js. The only difference between mean and MERN is that here you will be using an Angular framework, here you will be using a React framework. That is the only different thing. But instead of Node.js, if you use Java, then you will be a full stack developer. So mean stack, MERN stack and full stack. And what we do, if you have understood how an application works, what is a front end, what is back end and what is a data table, now you got the idea. And now let me give you the conclusion what we do. So here, as I said, what we offer is that in these 2 months we are going to tell you how to create this HTML file, how to make use of this VS code, how to start, why you need to write this exclamatory sign, what is this body tag, what is this h1, why you need to use script tags, and what this is all about. All these things you are going to learn if you have opted for front-end developer. And when it comes to backend, you will learn about how to start Eclipse, how you are going to how you are going to start this, and what is this nato.java, what is this employee, why I have to write all this at the red signs, why it is in brown color, why it is in blue color, how you can start, why you need 4 packages, all these things you are going to learn. So the idea is, I have explained what front end is, what back end is, and how you are going to connect with them. So what we offer is that you can learn from scratch. Over the 2 months duration time, you will be learning about how HTML works, what are the syntax you need to learn, how to implement them. As a beginner, you will be always wondering, for coding you need a memory power, I'll be forgetting all these things, it is too hard. No, nothing. If you are really have that confidence that you can do, and if you practice enough day in day out, like if today I'll be taking a session about HTML and you have practiced it thoroughly, then it is not a big thing. You don't need a bigger memory power to make a career out of coding or to be a programmer. So that is about from my end. Do you have any doubts about front end, back end, how you are going to do and all these things? Like this is about indexing. From tomorrow it will be day 1 where we will be starting with HTML. So I'll be going to start with HTML. As I said, I'm going to tell you how to open this VS Code and how to create the folder, why I should be writing .html, and after this how I'm able to click this and how it is able to render here in the browser. Look, it is showing hello, look, everything is working fine. How you are able to achieve this thing. And here you might have wondered, for WhatsApp you have WhatsApp logo, WhatsApp name. So here we have the same thing. Here in the side you have to write a head tag which contains the metadata, and here I am going to write this title. So if I make this WhatsApp, now it becomes WhatsApp. Look here, it becomes WhatsApp. This is how these websites are done. And for the logo part we will be using favicon. And if you want to change this color, you can just go here and make it as brown. So this is how you can design. As you can see our website, all these things we have used Bootstrap here. So Bootstrap will make CSS life easy. And why React? As I said, DOM manipulation is very much important. For that we'll be using frameworks or libraries. So this is about the session, like what is front end, back end, and how you can learn it, and what we provide in once you opt this course, right, what we are going to provide, all these things. So if you guys have any doubts and if you need any more conclusions still, you can ask me. Open for suggestions. You can have anything. If you want to say any doubts you have, you can go ahead and ask me. So from tomorrow it will be day 1 where I will be starting with the HTML. HTML is first, and when it gets done I'm going for CSS, and when it's done I'm be going for JavaScript. When it's done we'll be going for the React. And if people are choosing full stack, like I want to learn backend too, we will be going with, after React.js we will be going with the backend, how we are going to manipulate and validate the data and write business logic. And if you choose backend, Java, Python, Node.js will be going with. And if you start with Java, we will go with core Java. Once core Java gets done, we are going for advanced Java, and once advanced Java gets done, we will be showing how to use, even there are frameworks, Spring framework and Hibernate are there, which will make your application easy to add all the dependencies. So this is how the process will be going on from tomorrow. So as of now, I'm asking you again, if you have any suggestions or if you have any doubts or if you need any more conclusions over this, I'll be happy to explain for you. Yeah guys, go ahead. Don't you have any curiosity or any doubts over this, like how to do this and how you can able to do this, how it is possible, all these things? Yeah, Veerbhadra, Kausar, Rafiq, do you have any doubts? And we will also provide you the recorded session. So now suppose tomorrow at 10 a.m. I'll be taking a session to explain you about HTML. Some of you guys might be busy, cannot attend the session, but you have evening time. So for that to happen, we'll be recording the session what I'll be doing at the 10 a.m. So once the 11th session gets ended, I will share the record in the group. So whenever you are free, you can go watch the video and try to get those topics and understand them. And if you are not able to understand with the videos, on the next day we are happy to explain. Yes, Anjali, you are trying to speak something?
Yeah, hello sir.
Yeah.
My name is Anjali and
Yeah.
I am from Bijapur. I completed my post-graduation in MCOM actually.
Okay.
I'm not related to this whatever basic. I don't have any knowledge about this Java and all languages. I just got to know about your classes from others, and then I tried to join in. As a we don't have a background knowledge about this, and we don't know anything basic about this Java and everything. So, will you able to suggest us how we can go from basic?
Yeah, that is what we are going to do. I'm not like, as now I'm trying to say, this is the thing what I have kept ready for you guys. When we start the sessions, right, I will make you to build from zero without any background knowledge. And some of the students who are from different like electrical engineering, mechanical engineering have got placed in a very good companies, and they are working from the last 6 to 8 months in good projects. So don't worry about that. You don't have any knowledge over it, or you don't need a very strong knowledge in computer. If you know just to switch off or switch on the computer, that's enough. We'll be starting with
I
everything
know
with
basic.
editors.
Yeah, I know basics of computers, but I don't
No,
know
I
this
was
language.
just I was just making a fun that you don't need to know everything about computer to start. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
well, you can get
So
that
the
fearness
class.
out of you. Like, how I'm going to do all these things. It takes time. That is why we are providing 2 months course. So from day one it might be difficult. Day two it might be difficult. From day three you will have that confidence. Yeah, it is possible. I'm able to do this. So from there on, day in day out, if you practice and give enough time for that, and eventually I'll be helping you out with weekends too. If you are available, we can take sessions for 1 hour, 1.5 hour with the practice what you made. So that in over 60 days you will have that knowledge what it takes to make a career as a developer.
I just attended two to three classes in bachelor's. Just I have that like language will be like this and we need to do like this. At that much I have knowledge. So I asked from zero itself you will be starting.
Yeah, I'll be starting from zero only. From zero, right from the editor, how to install the editor, how you can start the editor, how to open the file. Yeah, it might sound crazy that yeah, why he's doing all these things, but some people might be having a scare that how to do all these things. But don't worry about others. I'll be helping everyone right from day one. I'll be starting from zero itself. How to open a file, how to delete a file, how to start, how to type, all these things. The only thing from your end is that the time what you are going to give for the session and understand the concepts will provide the required outcome what you are able to think after 2 months whether you are able to get the job or not. That is completely decided to you how much practice you are going to make. But from my end, I'm going to start from zero only.
Oh,
Even the minute things, I'm happy to explain for you how it works. The syntax, the implementation, everything.
recruitment will be done by this through you. So we need to try on that.
The recruitment is based on how you have done. That's what I'm trying to say. Like on the 2 months course, what we'll be doing, right? We'll be checking on the performances, like how you are going to practice it, how good you are, how regular you are. We'll be assigning the assignments. Like for 5 days, I'll be explaining you some basic things. On the sixth day, we'll be given a small assignment based on what you have learned on those 4 things. Based on our assignments, we'll be providing the job too. Like we have tie-up with some of the best companies over here in Bangalore, so we'll be giving your profile to them and they will recruit you. So it is also in your hands how much practice you are going to do once you start here.
Yes, sir.
And you might be wondering the basics. For that, I am here to help for you to understand each and every basic things. Like trying to teach you alphabets, right? From that way, I am going to explain you.
Oh, yes, sir. So when will this classes start? And I mean morning or evening session, please?
Yeah, once we get the outcomes from every one of you, right? Like now there are like 7 to 8 people, right? We will get a feedback from our team, like whether they are interested in continuing or not. So people who are getting interested and they will continue, right? We will ask the required time for them when they are able to. So what the majority time, well, like most of the students will be looking for morning itself. So on that thing, we'll be continuing with morning or evening. Like as I said, if you are not able to join in the morning, we will be sharing the recorded videos. And even if you have not understood from the recorded video, as I said, we can go through it on the weekends.
Fine, sir. Fine. Thank you.
Yeah, what about others? Any conclusions you need?
Hello, sir.
Yeah, Sindhu, go ahead. I think you have joined the session like in the middle half, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, go ahead.
For the admission purpose, we have to come office.
Yeah, that's what our team will contact you once you are interested, right? We'll ask in the group whoever is interested to continue with this, and people who want to continue, we will have offline and online both. If you are here in Bangalore where you can reach our office in time, if that is not a thing, you can come and continue in offline. But if you are someplace far ahead and if you want to continue it from there, we provide online trainings too.
Means for the first time.
Yeah, I can understand. That's what you can continue the course with online and offline. Both are available.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Any others? Do you have any conclusions? You can go right ahead and ask me. Yeah, Sahana, Veerbhadra, any doubts you have? Kausar? If you don't have any doubts, you can say at least no. Yeah, what about Sahana and Kausar? So, Kausar, do you have any doubts? Like how front end, all these things? If you have any doubts more than what I have explained now, yeah, you can go ahead and ask me.
Sir, can you just show the, like, how did you run the code in the Visual Studio?
Yeah, when it comes to React, right? Like if you are using only in HTML, you have to click and you have to do this open with live server. Everything I will show you how to install all these things. But when it comes to React, right, you cannot do that. Look here, this is HTML file what I have run. This is a React project. So for React project, you have to click on the terminal, new terminal, and here you will be using npm start. Npm is nothing but notepad manager. So everything, this npm, and here in the folder structure I am going to explain everything, what this node modules is, what do you mean by this public, and don't feel like as a hectic, so these are too many things for me. No, I will do it one by one. For one day I am going to tell you what node modules is, another day public, so that each and every day I will break into pieces. So for 5 days, if I explain you about 5 pieces, on the 6th day you can make a connection out of this and you will get to know how this React works. Got it? Got it now?
Yeah.
Yeah, Sahana, do you have any conclusions? I think you are the only person who didn't respond to my questions. Yeah, I will take it as a yes then. Yeah, that's it guys. So from tomorrow will be day 1 and I'll be starting with HTML, and I'm telling you again, it's not that don't disbelieve yourself, like this is not for me, I don't have a very good memory power, I cannot remember all these things. This is not the case. Don't worry about these things. If you are like, yeah, I will practice 1 hour daily, that is the thing what I need for to believe in you that you can become a developer. I don't need your accurate English knowledge or accurate computer knowledge or accurate coding knowledge. I just need your commitment that you will practice 1 hour every day. If that is possible, then don't doubt yourself that you cannot do it. You can do it. If you are happy to give 1 hour every day, I will make you what you doubt yourself, I will remove that doubt from you. So it is left to you. From tomorrow, day 1 begins. We shall start with HTML. It's nice to meet all you guys. Have a great day. I'll meet you tomorrow. Okay. Bye everyone.